All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to unpack a pretty powerful theory. The idea that the health of our entire society might just trace all the way back to a single word we use in our most personal relationships. So let's break down this incredible chain of events.
So, this is the big question that kicks the whole thing off. Can a decision made between just two people, in private, actually snowball into a full-blown national problem? I mean, it's a huge claim, right? So let's see exactly how the source builds its case.
Okay, so to really get what this theory is all about, we've got to start right at the beginning, at its absolute foundation, the author's definition of what true love even is. So get this, the idea here is that true love isn't defined by what it has, but by what it's missing, a reason. It's a love that just exists, no why needed, no justification required. It just is.
And this really breaks it down for us. Over on one side, you've got this idea of true love. No reason, totally unconditional, zero expectations attached. But then on the other side, you have what's called conditional love. And it always starts with a reason, a because.
All right, so if true love is supposed to be reasonless, what happens the second we throw one in there? Well, this is where we get to the real problem with the word because. And according to this theory, it's the tiny spark that starts the whole fire.
And this right here, this is the absolute linchpin of the whole argument. The theory is that the second you say, I love you because of your sense of humor, or because you're successful, boom, that reason just became a condition. It's not just a nice thing to say anymore, it's now a requirement that has to be met for that love to stick around. So check out how this is supposed to work, like a set of dominoes just waiting to be tipped over. It all starts with that, I love you because that immediately creates a condition. And what do conditions create? You guessed it, expectations. And according to this model, what almost always happens with expectations? Eventually they get broken, which leads straight to disappointment. And the final domino to fall? Divorce. The whole relationship collapses.
Whoa, so we just went from one little word all the way to the end of a marriage. But believe it or not, the argument doesn't stop there. This is the part where things start to scale up, moving from a problem inside the home to one that affects the entire world outside. The next link in the chain is pretty direct. The argument is that divorce, which, remember, is said to come from this conditional love, is the direct cause of dysfunctional families. So we've just made a huge leap from a personal outcome to a much bigger family-wide one. And what comes out of these dysfunctional families, at least according to this line of thinking? Well, it's claimed that they produce children who grow up with a whole host of problems. Things like being ill-disciplined, aggressive, not really emotionally intelligent, and having low self-esteem.
And now, this is where the whole thing just blows up to a massive scale. We've seen the supposed effect on the family, right? Well, now we're pulling the camera way back to look at the final impact on all of society.
Because, of course, the chain doesn't just stop with the kids. The theory posits that these children, carrying all those traits we just talked about, they don't stay home forever. They grow up, they go out into the world, and they become, in the author's words, dysfunctional members of society.
And here it is, the supposed end result of that entire chain reaction. The argument is that a society filled with these individuals starts to decay from the inside out, leading to things like chaos, more crime, what the author calls immorality, and ultimately the destruction of the community itself.
Okay, so let's just take a quick step back and look at the whole startling picture that this theory has painted for us. This is the complete chain reaction, from start to finish. And that brings us right back around to the author's powerful central claim. We've literally traced a path from a simple I love you because all the way to societal collapse. It shows how, in this very specific view, one tiny private decision has actually created a massive national problem.
So there you have it, the whole domino effect, laid out from a single word all the way to the breakdown of a society. It's a pretty intense and, a very deterministic way of looking at the world. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If our choices truly do create these long chains of consequences, what kind of links are you and I forging every single day?